about independence?
Of course, why not? It's the 4th of February 1948.
Did you know that India was the same?
Yeah, I have heard about it in our history period and that was really a tough program.
Absolutely. Both countries had their own challenges and heroes in the fight against British colonial rule. After all, which was the best? Indian freedom struggle or Sri Lankan freedom struggle?
We can find the answer to that question after today's debate.
So,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the debate conducted by the Institute of Smart Students.
the topic of tonight's debate is Indian freedom struggle was more effective than that of Sri Lanka.
Before we dive into these historic moments, let's meet the two debating teams.
Representing the proposition, we have team led by Master Numal Malikal and his fellow team members. Master Setula Sipiro, Miss Benara Taushi and Miss Dinara Senoli and Miss Master Achalat Chavendra.
Representing the opposition, we have the team led by Miss Sanuti Dimanya and her fellow team members, Master Gavel Shandisira, Miss Sanaya Jayawardena, Master Sanuka Aken, Miss Sakini Sudamsa.
So, let's enjoy the debate by letting the debate commence. Please give a big hand of applause.
Do you think who is this? Well, most people think this is a normal person, but this person is a legend. More than warriors. This person do an event, a lot of things to the India for their freedom struggle to make it higher. This is Jawaharlal Nehru, and this person is a most we all know about in date 9 history book. This so. The Indian freedom struggle were fierce movements that led to the individual independence from their national British colonial rules. Each struggle has its unique characteristics and approaches, influenced by the historical, cultural, social context. While both countries face their significant challenges significantly, Indian freedom struggle often considered as one of the most impactful and effective one. And also just the direct compassion contribute to this can offer most valuable insights into their success and challenges for their national liberation movements. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear teachers, my dear opposing team members, the impartial board of judges, today I am here to talk about why is Indian freedom struggle is most effective than Sri Lanka's one. So, firstly, the historical context. When take the historical context, it was in the British colonial rule of India began in the 18th of century and expanded significantly. Also, the leaders spread widespread law and controlled the Indian subcontinent by 19th century. And also but when we take British rule of India, Sri Lanka, it was not very much we can talk about. It's not very important because they also the British rule of India also began in 19th century and was after the Canadian kingdom conquered in 1850. So then and the duration of the Indian freedom struggle was intensified in early 19th century and early 19th century and it was in state independence in 1947. But when you take of Sri Lanka, although Sri Lanka take it on in 20th century, but it was in 1948. This can prove that Indian freedom struggle was that the Indian had gained the freedom in a low time than Sri Lanka because they are cooperative and effective. So at last, I'll tell that the colonial impacts had impacted the Sri Lankans was the economic structures. The small scale island nation was national was greatly was the outcome of the nation. And also there are some leadership and organization of the Indian with the prominent leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. These leaders not only mobilized to but also provided strategic directions and more leaderships. So I'm telling this can prove this the legacy of the Indian Sri Lankan struggle and the India was more effective than Sri Lankan one.
Impartial board of judges, my dear Namaste, my dear fellow men, all honorable guests, and all my and dear ones. A very good evening to Ramanuja here. Today we will take this opportunity to talk about the Indian freedom struggle versus Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka freedom struggle was when the Sri Lankan people wanted to run their country without any British rules. So they fought against Netherlands, Britain, and they wanted to gain freedom. So in 1948 they gained independence. However, first I'll talk about Indian partition versus Sri Lanka. India divided into partitions to reduce tension between Muslims and so, they were to us India and Pakistan, tried extension between Muslims and Muslims. But this led to cause huge repressions, violence, and lot of politics. But Sri Lanka did not divide into parties along the geographical lines, and they unified as a whole country. And Sri Lanka, all vice people inspired them to fight against the violence and political movements. But India did not. India was not like that. They even divided into partitions. So they did not work together. But Sri Lanka, all people, vice people, they inspired our, they all cultures fighted harder to gain what they wanted. And the vice people inspired them to gain what they wanted. And however, many times before, India attacked towards Sri Lanka. That means just like Kaliya by using those groups, India attacked Sri Lanka. But all those attacks were unsuccessful due to Sri Lankan's unity and clear goals. And also Western Westerns also attacked us, but that was also not successful due to the utmost bond between Sri Lankan rulers and Sri Lankan people.
India's freedom struggle was an unforgettable and remarkable one because millions of people from all were participating. And many movements like non-cooperation movement, Quiet India movement, and this civil disobedience movement united workers, students, and farmers and other professionals. Due to this mass participation, a huge force created, and British were afraid of them. And if we talk about non-cooperation movement, these were led by Mahatma Gandhi. He urged Indians to come out of the control from British rulers. And due to this, Indians refused to go to British schools and they refused to use British goods and they didn't serve in British institutions. And if we talk about Quiet India movement, they called for an end to British rule. And they saw strikes, things like that. And people from everywhere participated in this struggle. So if we talk about the mass participation, that is unprecedented. And people from cities, villages, and whether they reach people who are rich and people who are poor, educated, uneducated, all join their hands in the fight against British rulers. I mean, mass participation and this involvement were key reasons why British rulers had to struggle to remain their control in India.
Sri Lanka is smaller than India, which helped them to work together for independence. They share common language and culture. This helped them to work together for independence. India is much bigger and have many languages, cultures and religions. This sometimes causes disagreements and make it harder to independence against the British. Everyone told that Sri Lanka has fewer leaders than India. They were more united. This strong leadership helped them to work together for independence. India is much bigger and have many languages, cultures and religions. This sometimes causes disagreements and make harder to unite everyone with this agriculture and unity.
Indian freedom struggle has made global impact, inspiring many countries in Asia and Africa to fight for their own independence. In Indian National Congress, with its strong and powerful organization and clear goals, set an example for the liberation of the movements worldwide. The leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela were deeply influenced in the Mahatma Gandhi as a principle of non-violence resistance. Addition to that, as example, Nelson Mandela often cited Gandhi as a major influence in his fight. In Indian struggle, it is a very strong and massive one, and the world, other countries were, and also the Indian struggle, a moral example for the world. They are proving that the optimistic persons, people could challenge the powerful and the colonial rules, colonial with dignity and humanity.
Became independence in 1914. Not like India gained their freedom. Thousands of people lost their lives from the Indian struggle. According to the population of Sri Lanka, the death rate of Sri Lankan struggle is fewer than the death rate of Indian struggle. There are many people died from the Mahatma Gandhi's march. For example, in 1922, the violent clash of Chaura Chauri during the non-cooperation march, and also the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919. And the historical resources say that this massacre had about 400 deaths. And therefore we can consider that our Sri Lankan people work together to fight against the British rulers. Like 1889, 1848 freedom struggle. But if you get the Indian struggle, they haven't such a spirit. And also, their leaders are always aggressive. They have no one to motivate the fighters, and they only have the racial divisions. So that's why they had no spirit to fight against the British rule. After the independence of Sri Lanka in 1948, the Sri Lankan government established a stable democratic government which avoided the tension, ethnic and Muslim tension, ethnic and religious tension against which sometimes challenged the Indian people.
In the Indian freedom struggle, it was driven by one of the most remarkable leaders in history. They are Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose. Each of these leaders played a crucial role against freedom struggle, against British colonial rule. Mahatma Gandhi was the heart of the freedom movement, which was revolutionary strategy of non-violence and civil disobedience. Instead of promoting violence, Gandhi encouraged peaceful protest and cooperation with British authorities, inspiring millions of Indians to join the cause without fear of bloodshed. Gandhi's leadership was admired worldwide, gaining international support and sympathy. And one of the best examples for Gandhi's non-violent protest was the Salt March, which was drove global attention to Indian freedom struggle. Across India and also Mahatma Gandhi is still celebrated across the world, and they are being worshipped by Indian people. And also he's considered as symbolizing the country's successful fight for independence. And on the other hand, whereas leaders in Sri Lanka often remain unrecognized and forgotten. And one of the opposing team members mentioned that Sri Lankan leaders have got so many kind of team spirit. How can you argue that Sri Lankan team members have team spirit? Because Sri Lankan team members face lots of problems because of issues because of lack of team spirit. Because their own leaders betrayed their own country because of their sake of own lives. For example, King Sri Vikrama Rajasinghe, Sir Ponnambalam Ramanathan, and they are the one who first supported for the British and joined the British during 1915 Sinhalese and Muslim wars. And instead of working for their country, instead of working for independence, these leaders focus on personal gain and power, helping British and support and providing them with information.
Many countries and nations were trying to invent Sri Lanka, but only Britain was able to invent our country because of the team spirit and the teamwork of Sri Lanka. And when Britain was able to invent our country, but Sri Lankans didn't stop the trying. They started rebellions like 1818 rebellion of Uva rebellion and 1848 Matale rebellion. These rebellions cannot get a successful freedom, but we will get some kind of freedom and release from taxes. And also the special points that I have to consider of the effectiveness of the Sri Lankan freedom struggle, the strong leaders in Sri Lankan freedom struggle and the political groups share in identity and talking and discussions on the independence. When we talk about the team spirit, Sri Lankan, all the ethnics and religious work together. Sir Ponnambalam Ramanathan, Sir Ponnambalam Arunachalam and the Buddhist leaders and Sir Siddhi worked together for a Sri Lankan independence, not for Buddhist independence, not for Islamic independence. And also when considering the Indian freedom struggle, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Mahatma Gandhi worked together. But after that, Muhammad Ali Jinnah quit that and started a Muslim freedom struggle. The result is Pakistan. And when we consider why I am saying that Sri Lankan freedom struggle is more effective, this because of this. Because Ceylon, it means Sri Lanka. Ceylon become a republic. It means Sri Lanka Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. But India is becoming to cut into pieces like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal. They have no unity in here. And we gained a self-rule with gender authority and opens the door to greater opportunities equally. And also when considering the education system, Sri Lankans get a fair education system because of CWW Kannangal. And did any Indian get a proper education or proper education? 92 literary rate is in Sri Lanka. And also every Sri Lankan has a freedom for worshipping their own religion.
Anyway, the Indian freedom struggle brought about profound and fundamental changes which changed the Indian nation, which transformed the Indian nation. When we talk about Indian independence, millions of people, India is bigger than Sri Lanka. Otherwise, we can tell that we know that India have a more population than Sri Lanka. Many of those people in India joined their hand, put on those hands towards the Indian freedom. When we talk about Sri Lanka, the people of Sri Lanka was trying to make their independence with struggles only about 2-3 times. In 1888, they tried as their first freedom struggle, and again in 1848. After those, Sri Lankan people were there. They have that idea they need independence, but they didn't try or they didn't struggle much as all being collected. They didn't try like that. The Sri Lanka got their independence as a try of D.S. Senanayake. Before that, the Indian struggle, the people was fighting up to the end of their independence. The people was working together for the last of their independence. With the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, as is the heart of the independence, the people was collected around him and fighting towards the independence. At last, in 1948, before Sri Lanka, the India got their independence. The people wasn't collected in Sri Lanka, as they was only collected in 1888 and 1848 for their struggle, for their freedom. But Indian people was always being collected until their independence was there in their hand. That is the point that we can tell Indian freedom is more effective than Sri Lanka. Otherwise, Sri Lankan people have stopped their try. They stopped their try in 1848. Otherwise, they haven't fighted for their independence until they get in 1948. But the Indian people was working together. At last, they got the independence in 1948 before Sri Lanka.
I'd like to mention that as Mahatma Gandhi started protest without being violent, our Sri Lankan poets and Sri Lankan authors started making poems and making our people who are supporting to these quarrels and fights. Those poets encourage them, and even you are very proud and you are very supportive to each other when you are someone is saying something about you. So poets and all the authors got together and wrote many things about the beauty of the Sri Lanka and the prosperous things that are in our country. So those things help the people to identify the things that are in the country, and they felt that they must protect them and they must fight for the independence, because British people came to our country and they tried to take the things that was in Sri Lanka, but still we have got many things in our country, because our people got together and always they protected them, and our people kept the spirit and took the inspiration from those poems and all. And I'd like to say that India gained freedom, but Mahatma Gandhi and all make the country polluted by the name of the freedom. You can see this is a polluted picture of India, but even now some parts of the India is polluted, but Sri Lanka is not polluted like this way. India was polluted with smoke, and you can see in these pictures even Indian people was forced to kill Indians, and a member of a proposing team showed a picture. In that picture, I'd like to mention there were no South Indians, so was there unity? Thank you.
These members still there are a lot of breaking points. You all mentioned that these points are hard to break down, because one of the opposing members said that the India was a large country, and although their population and their people were not united, and also they said Sri Lanka was united. But I am asking a question. If the India gained the independence in 1947 and Sri Lanka gained independence in 1948, with a small country with United Nations, how they, apart from that, how they may not take the independence in lower time? So I initially take that their point is going to fall. And also one of the members said that the Mahatma Gandhi struggle was take a lot of millions of people. But I must say it was Jallianwala Bagh, because millions of people died in that. Foolishly British was gained to the place and killed them all. So, and apart from that also, there was no millions of people died in Mahatma Gandhi's struggle, freedom struggle. There's an non-violence, and only few of people were being in the prison. That's a goal. And another point is that members said that millions Sri Lanka fought for independence against the British. But I must say, will the past members give support from the British people? Huh? Tell me. And foolishly being on British. We agree that their spirit strong, but the Indian spirit was more strong than them. That's why they try to make the position break and take their members. And also one of the members said that India was polluted country. But I must say, as well as India and Sri Lanka both have polluted, because there is a much population in India and Sri Lanka. So what are you saying? I am asking. India also had polluted water, breaking down the important things and everything. So I am telling Indian freedom struggle was remarkably effective for these compelling reasons. And also, first and foremost, these united people forced their background and regions across the countries. Secondly, the visionary leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, these leaders not only inspired and mobilized the masses, but also studied direction of more leaderships. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence, Nehru's diplomatic acumen, and Bose's militant approaches demonstrated the diversity of the static employed, ensuring the movements of remain dynamic and adaptable to changing circumstances. So at last, I must say these gatherization of these coins, Sri Lankan effective than Sri Lanka's freedom struggle was effective than India's freedom struggle was effective than Sri Lankan one. Also, there's a special point I must say. If India didn't gain the freedom, how much Sri Lanka easily got their independence, achieving independence. While India facing their country for Sri Lanka, so what do you say? I'm telling that Indian freedom struggle was actually effective and influential than Sri Lankan one.
I would like to mention that they said that they took less time period to gain their freedom. Sri Lanka is a country in small size and we managed to gain our freedom in the same time period, that is one year late, but Sri Lanka is just a small country and they had much less leaders than India. Even our leaders motivate our people and we work harder to gain our freedom, and we gain our freedom faster because India had much population, yeah, that was true, but and they also had many leaders, strong leaders, so like in that way they had to gain freedom many years earlier than us because the country is small in scale, large in scale, and also they had many leaders. And even your try was even not effective. And you say that Gandhi's non-violence was very effective. How Gandhi's non-violence was become peaceful? Because that's all very interesting, but the problem is he followed in his own country as saying it would be helpful in gaining freedom, but is that he polluted his own country. Even in his large-scale meetings, people died because of improper management. So, is it peaceful? How would you say that we betrayed our own people? That was not a betrayal. Muhammad Ali Jinnah betrayed Mahatma Gandhi, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah created a whole new country called Pakistan. Isn't that made a conflict between Muslims and Tamils? And even from the words, you say that we are polluted, and even from the words we were pure. We had a pure country, and even now we have a pure country. But what about India? All are polluted, and you said in a certain point we stop trying. That doesn't make any sense because we all work harder until the end. Because if they stop trying working harder, how will we able to gain independence? That's why we all are saying that Sri Lanka freedom was more effective than the India. It's no secret that today's program wouldn't be success if it's not for the esteemed board of judges. So, as a token of appreciation for their commitment, we have prepared a small gift for you.
I'd like to invite our dear Nuan sir to give away the token of appreciations for the board of judges. Miss Nusarina. Miss Nusarani Ranapuriya.
Well, it's the moment we all have been waiting for. It's time to reveal the team who got selected to the semi-finals. Remember, your debate is another experience for your life job. So, don't be heartbroken if you didn't achieve the winning. And remember that winners are found because of their fellow participants who compete with them. So, participation is the most important thing from this debate.
Moksha, what do you think about the winning teams of today's game?
I think it is so big for me. But dear parents and dear my proposing team and opposing team, what do you think the winning team is?
I will say the today's winning team. Well, The team moving to the round of semi-final is the proposing team, the team led by Master Numan Malik.
Congratulations to the winning team, and I'd like to show my heartfelt gratitude towards beloved Board of Judges, and thank you all for your participation.
We will see you again in the next semi-final. Good night.